Hi everyone, my name's Glenn, otherwise known as Glenn Codes on Instagram. The Dev Life has asked me to answer 5 questions about myself, so yeah, here we go. So the first question is, how did I start my journey 5, maybe 6 years ago? I've always been interested in coding since I was 6 or 7. I started to read about PHP code, and I didn't actually have any real experience with server-side language. I really wanted to know how they updated a website. So slowly but surely I started to piece bits together bit by bit. If I can learn this, then there are other things that I'm going to be able to learn. Basically teach myself PHP. I got a book out and some notes, and then decided, well, I'll come up with a little side project like this social network, and it's not one of those things that's really practical, but it was a good learning experience. Build logins, how to retrieve posts. From there, it just basically grew. Started learning other programming languages, Ruby on Rails, learned how to style websites more properly. That's how I guess I got started. So the second question is, what technologies do I use? My favored language is Ruby. I love Ruby, and the framework that I favor, Ruby on Rails, it's just one of those frameworks that you can knock out a project really quickly, hit the floor running. I mean, I'm getting to the point now where more advanced tutorials other than the basics. I've exhausted as much as I can as far as learning goes. At the moment, it's really just about me building as much examples of that as I can. There's a programming language that I actually don't mind, which I'm starting to try and get into with artificial intelligence, Python, and there is a library with Python called Keras, another library written by Google, which is called TensorFlow. There's a lot of interesting things that you can actually build, and I think we're only just starting to scratch the surface in terms of what we can actually do with artificial intelligence. I've kind of delved a little bit into C#, the MVC framework. You only get so much time. I'm sure I'll get to other languages at some point in the future. So third question, what is the project I am most proud of? The social network that I had built, which technically didn't launch, was a really good learning experience and a good springboard for me to start and getting that passion for some other programming language. The passion was already there by age 6 or 7 because I was already messing around with computers before then, right? I mean, that was my big first project. After sitting back and just looking at it and going, wow, I've actually built quite a lot of functionality here. It was a real testament and proof to myself. You know, you can teach yourself these things and you'd be surprised exactly what you can learn. Never really doubt your own abilities, because if you do a really cool, awesome project like that, the proof's in the pudding, basically. Next question, what is my current daytime job? My current daytime job is not actually as a developer, is actually in insurance. I basically do that for 8 hours, Monday to Friday at night, and on weekends, I'm basically coding, working on side projects, whatever it is that I'm working on at the time. You don't necessarily need to be working in the industry to be able to enjoy programming, to be able to learn programming, and to come up with some really awesome projects. That being said, at some point in the future, I can get to a stage where I've got examples that actually go for a job as a developer. You never know. So the last question is, what advice would I give myself if I was starting the journey again? The learning side of things is good, but at some point you've got to put more practice into it, right? I'm one of these people that I like to write notes, sure that I understand it correctly. It's all sequential and it sinks in. I'll go over it and over it and over it in my head. Do write code, don't get me wrong. I would say to my past self, write more code. Learning by doing is one of the best ways. Write more code, practice more code, make lots of errors. Errors are awesome. I mean, they're not awesome. Errors are annoying, but you learn by making mistakes. Each time that you work out how to fix the mistakes, your mind is expanded for it. You're better for it. The second thing I would probably say, be confident. Don't doubt yourself. You know the code. There are people out there that have never touched a computer. They don't understand any of it, you already know so much more. When I say that, I don't mean, oh, you're better than them, but I illustrate it as a point. If you think that you don't know enough about code, put yourself next to someone who hasn't touched code at all, barely uses a computer, and as soon as you see that comparison, you go, wow, I actually know a lot more about code than I do. Well, that's all the questions. So thank you very much for the Dev Life. I'm really enjoying the online community. It just seems to be a foxhole that I've jumped into, and there's so many people out there. Share stories with me, reach out, say hello. There's some really wonderful people there, so thank you very much.